Hello, it is Jody. It is Wednesday afternoon. Working from home. It's my first week back seeing kids. Just trying to get my schedules. I'm not in schools yet. I'm just seeing everybody virtually. So trying to get back into the swing of things. But I've had a lot of questions about letter reversals from parents and teachers. And so I thought I would just kind of go over some of my suggestions that I give to people to see if it helps. OTs will often look at kiddos with reversal issues because we have a background in visual motor, perceptual motor, visual processing skills. And so, but reversals are also impacted by a child's phonemic awareness. So their ability to recognize letters and know letters and sounds kind of in isolation. And so one of the things that we would want to know is whether or not the kids recognize all of their letters in isolation and out of sequence, and whether or not they know what all those sounds are for those letters, because that will make a difference when they're going to write words. If they don't have good visual memory skills, meaning when you say the letter D, they can visualize what a D looks like and then put it down on paper, then that's something else that we could work out as far as visualizing what the letter is and then being able to write it down. Oftentimes, kids will learn letter formations before they are taught letters. So they will learn to draw letters and don't actually learn the correct letter formations, which can sometimes create some of the reversals, and then we end up trying to reteach correct formations. When I am working with kids who have letter reversals, your main ones that kids will reverse are B and D, P and Q. Sometimes they will write M and W upside down, and U and N are other ones that sometimes they transpose. With the B and D specifically, I often will just at the top of a child's writing paper give them an uppercase B, lowercase b, uppercase D, and a lowercase d, because most kids do not reverse the B and D. And if they are writing along on a sentence and they come to a word that has a B and D in it, they can look up here. So if they're writing the boy hit the bat, when they're writing the boy, they can come up here and they know that this is the B, so they'll look here and they'll say the boy hit the B. And as long as they know that this is a B, they'll look there for the B to make the bat, if that makes sense. So it's just a quick visual reference. Sometimes I will make a note card to laminate to put on their desk. Sometimes it's just a matter of teaching them to put that at the top of the page. Another thing that I have done is to teach them that the lowercase b is hiding. You probably can't see that. The lowercase b is hiding inside the big B. Okay, so it's hiding in there. So a lot of times I will just teach them the strategy is to pretend you're making, when you come across a word that is spelled with a word with a B, then just pretend you're making an uppercase, but leave out the top hump. So they'll come and I'm like, pretend to make the top hump and then just make the bottom one. So then they know that they're making a B. So that's a strategy that I've used, at least for B and Ds. The other thing is if there's other letters that a child has difficulty with, you can do the same kind of strategy where if they have an issue with P's and Q's, you can do something similar where they know these are the uppercase and those are the lowercase. I have tried working on the strategies. I'm sure you guys have seen this. If they're holding their hands up like this, this is a B and this is a D. B comes first in the alphabet, so that's the B, and this is the D that comes afterwards. But sometimes that's hard when they're writing for them to figure out. There's a lot more of a thought process that has to go on with that. The other thing is if they hold their hands like this in front of them, well, with their wrists not turned. This is a P. And this is a Q. And there are times where I will actually draw those on a kid's hand so they can see this is a P. It would be facing me. So if I was this way, this is a P. And that's a Q. It's hard to see with light purple, but hopefully you get the idea. Any kind of visual that can help them kind of sync the directionality can be helpful. I tend to teach letter formations in groups of patterns. So a lot of times when kids are learning to write, like I said, they learn to draw their letters. I don't teach letters in order from A to Z. So if I'm teaching D, it's going to be in the Magic C family. So all of these 6 letters will begin with the letter C. So we have C, right? C turns into an O. C turns into an A. C turns into a D. C turns into a G. And C turned into a Q. So we'll have all sorts of lessons on what are the Magic C letters. There's 6 of them. Let's count them out. Who can think of another one? Let's find it. And so we'll make sure that we master these letters, and then we will practice words that only have Magic C letters in them. So we can have dog, and we can have cod, and we can have I don't know. I've come up with a whole bunch of words that some of them are nonsense words, but you practice doing them so that you get sequences of letters that are in the same family. We will also, so the B starts with a tall line down. So it starts different than the D. The D starts with that circle and down. B and D. One thing that I just recently saw, I read in an article, which I had never thought about, was how the mouth position and the first stroke of each of these letters helps you remember how to form them. So let me see if I can make some mouths here. One sec. Okay, so these are mouths. So when you say the word B or the letter B, your mouth is a straight line. So the first line is the first stroke of a B is a line. So when you say the sound B, your mouth is straight across. So if you say it and you make the big stroke down, you have the first stroke of the B. Okay. When you say D, your mouth isn't closed like that. It's open. D. So there's an open space. And the first stroke of a D is open. D. This can help kids when they're reading, because if they say a D or a B, if they say bog for dog when they're reading a story, and you correct them, you say, okay, if you were writing that word, what is the first stroke of a letter B? And so when they say B, and you teach them what that looks like, and then they go to read it in the paper and they say a B sound instead of a D sound, it might help them connect to be like, okay, I said that wrong. My mouth is straight or my mouth is open. So the sound is this or the letter is that. So I don't know if that's confusing or not, but it was kind of eye-opening to me because I didn't realize what the mouth looked like in relationship to those specific sounds. So it's mostly addressing B and D for now. I think this video is long enough. But if you guys have any specific questions, I can come on and do a little bit more. I just thought that I would give those little tidbits and see if they help anybody. Have a great day.